having once for all glorified and immortalized the wonderful spiritual culture of this country. By drawing into our own lives this divine color of saintliness, we shall also make ourselves beautiful exemplars of divinity, godliness, and saintliness. By regular reading or hearing the noble and sublime lives of saints, seers, sages, and men of wisdom, we imbibe within ourselves their great qualities of goodness and wisdom, and thus our consciousness is continuously fed with this life-giving beams of saintly idealism. The vital Indian genius did not conceive of this idealism as being theoretical, but meant it to be the very basis of the active life of his people. It was to pervade and control their entire lives' activities. The social structure, as also the pattern of the individual's life, were so conceived as to make this the dominant note in practical living. The supreme spiritual ideal, which is to be life's culmination, is based upon dharma, actively practiced in man's day-to-day life. And one so significant and the most prominent of all the yoga gurus was Sri Swami Shivananda, the Himalayan master of Rishikesh. His band of disciples are equally illustrious, and today almost all the major yoga schools were established by them in India, Europe, America, and Canada. Swami Vishnudevananda is the founder of Shivananda Yoga Center. Swami Sachidananda, who founded Integral Yoga Institute in Yogaville, who is famous for his Woodstock appearance, which created history in the United States. Swami Venkatasalanji traveled across Australia, Mauritius, and Swami Shivananda Radha and Swami Gurudevananda were the lady saints who continued his message, to spread his message. And Swami Chidaranand Maharaj and Swami Krishnanandi stayed back in Rishikesh and there were many other also illustrious disciples who did not leave Rishikesh, but they were very, very prominent in the knowledge. Swami Brahmananda, Swami Vidyananda. So there was a galaxy of disciples who were, each one of them were a gem and who contributed in a big way to the yoga world. I felt it's very appropriate to remember all these people because the yoga world today sometimes do not even realize that who were the initial torchbearers of this field. And like many of us, we feel very blessed and very lucky to have been associated with this great lineage. And I personally feel very lucky and blessed to have been in very close contact with Swami Chidananda Maharaj for more than 10 to 12 years, and which was a great, amazing experience, and which of course changed many things in life. The state of yoga is reflected in the perfection of every action. My Gurudev Swami Chidananda Maharaj lived this perfection in action every moment of his life. His actions gave his words the authority, and his actions demonstrated how the pursuit of perfection and excellence is in every moment's affair in our daily life. He devised a simple, direct, practical, and pragmatic method that leads us in that direction of spiritual evolvement from the teachings of his Guru, Swami Shivananda Maharaj. And I would like to share some of interesting stories that happened during my life. And I repeat these stories in every platform, wherever I get a chance to speak, because they are simple, funny, and very interesting. So the most favorite story that I have is about how particular and how meticulous Swami Chidananda Maharaj was, and how he would bring in the awareness about the supreme reality in something very mundane, so to say, which we do not respect or we do not even care to be aware. So while I was serving him like a personal assistant, so I used to travel with him, I used to serve him food and take care of his correspondence. And in the beginning time, I looked upon him as more like a mother or a father than a guru and disciple. So which was a different kind of relationship than many other of my guru bhais. And I had my own challenges because I did not was not so strong, and I used to always try to figure out something rationally, or logically, or scientifically. Much later, I realized that science and logic have they stop at one place and spirituality takes over. But at that time, it was not the case. So every time I would ask Swamiji with a scientific orientation. So I always wondered since my childhood that why do we bang the bell so hard in the temple? And why do we burn so much of incense? And I created some difficult situations for my family because I would go up to people saying that, is God deaf? Why do you have to bang the bell so hard? Then that used to become a social issue. And then you used to get the stick from your elders. So anyways, then I stopped asking those questions, and eventually when I came and met Swamiji in one of the questions answer session, I felt that I should ask them this question. And I said, Swamiji, is there any logic behind the concept of arati? I mean, those of you who have little familiarity with the Hindu practice of the temple, we do arati, we ring the lamp, we ring the bell, and there's a lot of incense. So I went up to ask Swami, is there any logic behind this practice, or is it just made up? Is it about all about rituals? So I said, no, there is a lot of science and logic behind it. I said, please tell me, I've been waiting to hear this answer since I was a kid. So Swami said, do you know who Sigmund Freud is? I said, in my mind I thought, what is the connection between the arati, the temple, and worship, and Sigmund Freud? And then I said, yeah, I know that he is considered to be the father of modern psychology. And do you know how he came to these conclusions? I said, well, he must have studied the pattern of people who had mental sickness and figured out some way in terms of statistics and came up with these conclusions. Then he goes up to say that, but our ancient people, they did not have to go and study anybody else's unhealthy mind. They studied their own healthy mind and figured out what are the characteristics of the mind by practice of meditation.